Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to our installment of Scott's Selections here for Saturday, October 24th. We get today's play of the day, quick recap of what happened yesterday. We end up giving out a look at a line on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in that matchup against the Las Vegas Raiders, I should say. A lot of news happened with Tampa over the last 24 hours. So you had the signing of Antonio Brown. I'm sure a lot of you know this, but if you don't, that means absolutely nothing towards our play because the first game Antonio Brown would be eligible to play for would be next week against the Saints. So that doesn't matter. It's still good for them. And they're picking up another weapon that they probably didn't need. But we'll see what happens, and we'll see if Antonio Brown either remains a head case or if he shows that he is still a very talented receiver that he has been throughout his entire career. But for today's play, they're going to be looking at another bonus college football play in addition to the 3 plays that I gave out on the joint show with Scott Steen. And for this matchup, we're going to be going with a night game in the SEC between LSU and South Carolina. And we're going to be taking the underdog here plus the points, as we're going to be going with South Carolina +5 at -112 on DraftKings, a time recording of 2:11 a.m. Eastern Time. And a couple reasons why I like South Carolina in the spot. First of all, South Carolina has been arguably the better team this season. LSU, despite being the defending national champions, lost a ton of key pieces from last year's team, including some key coordinators, etc. They also ended up losing Joe Burrow, of course, which hurts. Chase, their best receiver, opted out for the season. But the offense has not been the issue for LSU, as they have ended up scoring at least 41 points in 2 of their first 3 games. The issue that you have with LSU is the defense, because this defense has been awful under first-year coordinator Bo Pelini, who has been terrible so far, and he's been called out by Ed Orgeron as well for his defense being completely unprepared and getting torched by the teams like Missouri and Mississippi State. But LSU is giving up 32 points per game. They're giving up 380 passing yards per game, which is absolutely atrocious. And LSU, simply put, just isn't worthy of being this big of a favorite against the South Carolina team that is 2-2, but their 2 losses came by 4 points against Tennessee, who was ranked at the time, still a solid team. And they also lost by 14 to Florida, but that game was actually very close, a lot closer than the scoreboard indicates. They gave Florida some problems. They had a goal line opportunity to cut it to 7 with about 2 minutes to go. Couldn't capitalize. But they ended up hanging tough with the number 3 team in the country and also the number 16 team in the country at the time. But they also were able to beat Auburn last week in a very solid win. I know Auburn's having a down year, but Auburn was still a ranked team, and South Carolina was able to beat them. So I think that they definitely have looked good under quarterback Colin Hill. He's definitely looked pretty sharp so far in the SEC. And the second reason why I have an issue with LSU besides the defense is the fact that their starting quarterback, Miles Brennan, who has 11 passing touchdowns and 3 interceptions this season, will not be playing as he is currently injured. And as a result, LSU has decided to turn their attention to true freshman TJ Finley to be the starting quarterback of this game. Now, the issue that I have with that is, first of all, LSU's defense has been so bad they haven't even been able to beat teams like Mississippi State, who's been awful ever since they faced LSU offensively, and also Missouri, who is still very young and inconsistent. But LSU has struggled defensively to even beat those teams. South Carolina is better than both those teams, in my opinion. And now LSU, their main reason why they've even been competitive is their offense, and their starting quarterback, who has 11 passing touchdowns, is not going to be able to play. So I do think that even though this line has come down to +5, or -5, I should say, for LSU, I think that this line should be closer to probably around -2. Or you make an argument maybe that even though it is in LSU, so there could be a home field advantage there, I think South Carolina might be the better overall team right now. So you're going to give me 5 with a team that's clearly in better form and a team that actually has a starting quarterback against a team that's making his first career, with a quarterback that's making his first career start in college football. That's all I really need to hear. I'm going to take the 5 with South Carolina, and I think they do have a chance to potentially win the game outright. But for the sake of this video, we're going to be taking the +5 at -112 on DraftKings. That's been the Solomon Scott Selections. Good luck to all of you and your respective bets today. Bye, everyone.